Guys, I am back, and today I'm going to do something which you have been asking me to do for a while now, which is ranking the team vehicles. Now before I begin, I do want to make it clear that I'm just going to do the full-on team vehicles, so things like the Fusion Dragon, which is only for 2 specific ninja instead of every ninja. I'm not going to be including those here, but things like Destiny's Bounty, Ultra Stealth Raider, those type of sets, I'm going to be including. Okay, let's begin. The Land Bounty is just not a set for me. It does what it wants to do. It's a giant vehicle with lots of space and it's got a couple cool functions, but that's all it is. After 4 years of owning this set, I still don't really know how to describe it. It's just kind of awkward. The function to bring out the thrusters doesn't work very well, and everything about it just feels underwhelming to me. It definitely doesn't help that the year before we got the Diesel Knot, which is the exact same type of concept for a set, except for villains. But the Diesel Knot's a million times better than this thing. Yeah, I'm just not a fan of this one. The Legacy Ultrasonic Raider is another set that I don't really love. It's kind of a middle ground of the 2012 Ultrasonic Raider and the Ultra Stealth Raider, but it misses what made those sets so great. The ability to split the vehicle into 4 different vehicles is here, but I wouldn't exactly say it's the best execution of it. It's definitely a set you want to have fully combined. Speaking of which, I think the base model does look better than most people give it credit for, but definitely not as good as the original version. This is another one which conceptually I think it had all the makings of something great, but in execution it didn't quite make it there. The Race Against Time Destiny's Bounty is the newest version of this set, and while it's my least favorite of them, it's not bad by any means. The idea to store a dragon inside the ship is actually really cool, and it's something that none of the other versions of the bounty did. It also has far more interior space than I thought it would, and it even has a reference to this set, which I think is really cool to see. And then of course you have the function to open the sails, and out of every Destiny's Bounty set, this is the one which definitely has the most interesting shaping for the hull, which is something that I like to see. So like I said, this is a good set, but the other versions are just better. The Ultra Combo Mech is one of the few core sets that I actually like. It was actually my favorite set of 2022 in general, and unlike the Legacy Ultrasonic Raider, the 4 vehicles split apart and they all look really good on their own, and some of them I think could even be their own sets. And then of course, fully combined, it looks great as well. The main gripe some people have with this one is that the posability is not that good, especially in the legs. But I'm willing to forgive it for that, since it needs to be that way for the combo feature to actually work, and I think it's more than worth it, especially since you have multiple options beyond just the main mech. What I do think is the real issue for this set though is the lack of stability in the ankles. These ratcheted joints, they barely keep this thing upright, and if you move them even a little bit, it's over. This is the one that started it all. The 2012 Destiny's Bounty is a certified classic that still holds up to this day. It has the simplest design out of every version of the bounty, which makes sense given that this was also by far the cheapest one, having only been $80 when it was released, but it still has all the makings of a Destiny's Bounty set. The lifting sails are here, and arguably it's the best integrated out of any version of this set. It also has the function to rotate the thrusters, which once again works super well and better than most versions, but where this one lacks compared to the other ones is that there's no real interior on this set at all. It's pretty much what you see is what you get. There's a little space on the front, there's a spot in the back, that's it. There's no hidden space underneath or anything like that, which is a little bit disappointing. There is a fair argument to be made that the Dragon's Rising version of this set is better than this 2012 version, but that set is also double the price with nearly triple the amount of pieces, and I don't really feel like it quite captures the same magic of this one, but maybe that's just the nostalgia coming in. The original Ultrasonic Raider is another classic set. Although it can only split into 2 vehicles instead of 4, and to be honest, one of them is not that good, the base version of this set is just so cool. There are lots of small details that contribute to making this set great. The bandoliers on the front is something they have never done again since this set, but I think they look awesome. The 4 golden weapons are able to clip onto the front and are well integrated into the design, and the thrusters with the flames look great. And something I didn't notice until the Legacy version came out is that the wheel being so far back on the set actually helps the overall look. This is just a very unique set, but a great one. The Legacy Destiny's Bounty has everything it needs to be the best bounty set ever, but once again, I feel like it's just lacking something that some of the other versions have. It has great detailing all around. I especially love the shaping on the backside with the way they did those curves. It just looks really good. It also has the function to rotate the thrusters while also bringing out mini ones in the front, which are super well integrated and pretty much unnoticeable while retracted. And there's also a massive interior underneath this ship. But like I said, there's just something about this one that's missing for me when you compare it to the other ones. Maybe it's because there's just way more red than it needs to be, I don't know. Because being 100% objective, this is the second best Destiny's Bounty set they've ever made. But personally for me, there's some other ones that I like just a little bit more. To me, this is the most unique version of the Destiny's Bounty. The base model is most similar to that of the 2012 version since it doesn't have any hull space underneath the floors, but after that it's very different. Unlike the other versions, this one has 4 sails which are able to be rotated, but it's also the only version where the sails cannot be moved down into the normal sailing position you would expect from a boat. Instead, they're always stuck up in that flying spot. It also has a slightly different color scheme, integrating olive green along with the more traditional red and browns that you expect to see. And then the front of it is also a little bit different because the dragon head has this giant mast sticking straight out from the front. This set also does have my favorite version of the rotating thrusters function because the entire thing just kind of splits in half and then it rotates back into place at the end, which is just super satisfying. And when you do that, you also get access to a rotating turret in the back, which is pretty cool. Like I said before, objectively speaking, the Legacy version is better than this set, but personally speaking, I like this one a little bit more. This is a super underrated set in my opinion. I've recently discovered that there are a lot of people who do not like the Ultra Stealth Raider, and I do not get it. This set is amazing. It's pretty much just a better version of the Legacy Ultrasonic Raider, which is also kind of hilarious considering that this set came out before that one. It has the same ability as that set to split into 4 different vehicles, all of which look great on their own, and the base version of this vehicle also looks great as well. Now, I would definitely agree that the overall design of this one isn't as unique as the 2012 Ultrasonic Raider because there isn't, any super cool part usage like those bandoliers that set had, but it does still have a very sleek and cool design, and the fact that the 4 individual vehicles are able to stand on their own so well easily makes this one the best out of those 3 sets for me. This set is amazing. It takes the concept of the Destiny's Bounty and exchanges it just ever so slightly into a submarine, and it makes it one of the best sets yet. Everything about this one is great. The giant transparent blue section on the middle blending into the windshield is awesome. The ability to store the Ninja's pods inside is great. The thrusters can be pushed outward. There's even a mech on the front. One of the most underrated design choices for me though is the color scheme. On paper, the white color scheme doesn't really mean that much, but when you pair this set with all of the other bounty style vehicles, it makes it really stand out compared to everything else, and that's something you really want to see, especially because this one is not the same as the rest of them. It should stand out, and it does. Now, if you don't have this set already, it hasn't officially retired yet, so you can still buy it, and I would definitely recommend getting this one because it is 100% worth it. Now, I'm sure this doesn't come as a shock to you, but I love the movie Destiny's Bounty. As a build, I think this set is perfect. There's nothing I don't like about how this set looks. Even the 2 heads, which I wasn't sure about at first, as it turns out, I really like them. But I will say, even though I love this set, it definitely does feel the least like a Destiny's Bounty out of every Destiny's Bounty, which might not make sense at first, so let me explain here. This set is basically just a boat. Like, there's no ability to move the sails up to fly like the rest of the Destiny's Bounty sets, and the area for the thrusters is there, but there's no indication of actual thrusters being on there. So, for all intents and purposes, this set is pretty much just a boat, and while it's a great boat, the Destiny's Bounty is supposed to be more than just that. So even though I personally love this set for what it is, I do understand why some people could look at it a little bit differently and prefer some of the other sets more.